What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market. I'm also going to break down why there's a very good chance the market may see a bounce tomorrow if we reclaim particular levels. And a big catalyst that's going to likely help this as Tesla absolutely killed it when it comes to earnings. But just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Webull link. If you deposit any amount of money, you're guaranteed 12 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 in total, and deposit $2,000 or more and you're guaranteed 40. The offer ends very soon in just 8 days. Anyways, now let's talk about the markets. Right now, SPY is pretty flat in the after hours, a little bit in the green. We dipped really hard today as yields ended up going up and because of other factors. But then what happened was we started to see a lot of buyers step in as the day went on, which is once again showing us that the buyers are still present. They're not going to let the market dump and dump and dump and dump. They are basically continuing to buy things up. So there's a good chance we will see this attempt to continue. But another catalyst that could help this would be Tesla's overall price action right now. The share price dumped really hard ever since we got the Robotaxi event, and a lot of people were turning very bearish on Tesla. What I said was that yes, technicals are a little bit weak, but do not solely depend on them because when earnings come out, anything could happen, right? You can't turn too bearish, too bullish. You have to wait and see what Tesla ends up announcing and how investors react. So Tesla announced some huge things, and the share price is going bananas. It's up almost 12%. And this could have a ripple effect on the markets. They could use this as a reason to start buying things up, and this could help the market bounce tomorrow, believe it or not. So that's what I think is very probable right now. And the reason is because of how Tesla's moving, and not to mention the fact that buyers were already stepping in, and because we're approaching the election and they're once again continuing to play defense. So, what happened with Tesla? Let me talk about Tesla for a couple of minutes and break down why the share price is going bananas and how this could affect the markets a little bit later on. The first thing worth mentioning is Tesla's earnings. So, revenue was at 25.18 billion versus 25.43 billion estimated. This is a little bit below expectations, but not too bad because EPS was also a beat at 72 cents. Pretty nice. It's a nice beat above expectations of 60 cents. Not bad whatsoever. Nice beat by them. Gross margins were also surprisingly really good for them at 20% versus the 16.8% estimation. So nice margins, nice growth, and a very, very good looking move by Tesla. That's the first thing that happened. Secondly, when we have their financial statement, I'm not going to go over all the details in this video, but I will talk about a couple of things. Operating income was not too bad compared to before. Nice increase overall. They had decent results for Q3, but they are projecting a very, very strong Q4, and that's why investors are excited. They also mentioned that their overall cost of goods sold per vehicle is down to its lowest level ever at $35,000. That is bullish news. On top of this, they were talking about more details about their new models, how they could start to launch very soon. They're basically under preparation for now to start launching them soon, and then they're going to officially start the bigger production closer to like 2026 to 2027 in that period, which is very, very close to now, right? We're almost already at 2025. So within the next few years, they're going to be having that robotaxi, the robocab to be more precise, coming out very soon. And they're once again going to be making money with the autonomous technology that Tesla's continuing to hype. Operating cash flow is not bad. We did see an increase overall. AI, excuse me, AI training compute is now increasing by 75%. Nice, nice, nice growth. Decent looking numbers, better than what a lot of people were expecting. And then we also have more charts here. So Musk is also talking about how right over here they're on track for production next year for their very, very important new products. So very, very cool stuff. Their cheaper EV is on track for production soon, and then also mass production by 2026 potentially. That's what Musk is saying. He's not always right about his dates, of course, but investors love it, so that's the important thing you have to remember. And then when I go down here, guys, check this out. This is their revenue. Notice that a large chunk of their revenue is just from their automotive revenue. Energy generation / storage is now making up a bigger sector than before. You can see the last 2 quarters we saw this increase, and then services went up. And then on top of this, I just want to mention that there's going to be new revenue streams coming out thanks to their RoboCab. So very, very cool stuff in my personal opinion. On top of that, I don't know if it says it right here, but Tesla also announced that they produced their 7 millionth vehicle in the Fremont factory. Very, very bullish news. They're also talking about how they are making preparations for the new vehicle to begin launching the first half of 2025 and bigger production by within 2 years, basically. Gross margins are not bad. Going back, the refresh Model 3 ramp up was successful. The Model Y was the best-selling vehicle in all of Europe, or at least almost every single country in Europe. That's very significant for the EV sector. And then we saw some nice growth in China. Besides that, so the Chinese sales were strong. European sales were a little bit lackluster, but then the American sales were decent. That's why Tesla had overall interesting looking numbers. What's bullish for the stock is Q4 is predicted to be very strong for them. So they're talking about some very strong numbers despite the headwinds and difficulties in the economy. They're absolutely crushing it still, and they're saying that Q4 is going to be even stronger for them. Investors absolutely love that. And then two more things. The Cybertruck is said to have become profitable already, which is very impressive. People out there were just doubting its success, but that's doing relatively well, at least according to what Tesla is claiming. And then on top of this, they are finalizing the design for the Tesla Roadster. They're now talking about the Roadster coming out soon. So very, very cool stuff, guys. So there's been a lot of talk, and this is from the transcript. We're looking for a very, very nice growth rate over here. He also mentioned a 20 to 30% vehicle growth in 2025, so strong guidance. Besides that, it was the same stuff they typically go over when it comes to FSD and etc. So very, very bullish news, in my personal opinion, as the majority of investors are now excited about what they're announcing. And with the new Cybercap coming out and the development of Optimus in their AI technology, investors are very hyped. So did we get the wow factor? Yes, we did, with Musk talking about production coming very soon for the Cybercab, with the Cybertruck approaching and achieving profitability with decent margins, good growth on earnings, and the list goes on. This made investors very excited, and this is why the share price went up. It could also be because there was a lot of shorts piling into Tesla. Everyone was thinking it was going to crash, it was this and that. Like I said before, I said even though technicals look bearish, do not solely depend on those for Tesla, because Tesla's main move would be dictated by its earnings, and earnings ended up going relatively well. That's why the share price is up. For more factors, I just want to say that for now, just know that for tomorrow, it's going to be Thursday, October 24th, 2024. 15 minutes after the market opens, we have the S&P Global Composite PMI. So look for some volatility 15 minutes after market open. Then after that, we have some minor data from manufacturing. And so far, the market is still holding up well. For Tesla and IBM, they announced their earnings today. Tomorrow, we have American Airlines, UPS, and a few others. Then we have Dexcom and a few more after market close. That's pretty much it. And that's pretty much it, at least for my news and data. At least for now, I'm going to make it kind of like short. So let's now focus on the charts. What are the charts telling us? We're going to start off with the big one, Tesla. This is a monster. It's like a train. It has so much momentum, and it's also going to have a ripple effect around its environment, just like how trains, they have a lot of momentum. It's the momentum is not just affecting Tesla, but it's also affecting the broader markets, or at least it's being used that way. So, what Wall Street love to do is you have to remember that individual stocks alone are not the only thing that move, the bigger ETFs, but they could help drive the momentum that is used by these institutions to start buying things up. So Tesla is the momentum builder right now, right? It's acting like that big steamboat that's pulling the broader markets. It's doing a very, very good job so far, and this is once again helping things in a very, very big way. So from what I see, at least moving forward, Tesla's looking bullish. As long as we don't lose this support around this 234 area. If 234 does break, we could return to 228. But as long as we're above 234, I could see this push for 240. And then if 240 breaks, we're looking for 244. So it looks like it wants to hit 240, then maybe even 244. There's a very good chance it's going to try to rebound. And so far, we're doing a very, very good job. So congratulations to Tesla and the whole team. I want to give credit where it's due. The entire Tesla team did well. Good reports, absolutely blowing away investors and all the shorts. So now what's going on with others out there? We have SPY. So one thing I was mentioning about SPY is we dumped quite a bit, but I told everyone that don't be overly bearish, especially if buyers start to step in and then we reclaim 577. I mentioned there might be a bounce coming because of that. I said that in my previous video. If you guys look at my previous video, you'll see that. So what do I see for the share price? Well, as long as SPY does not lose 577 tomorrow morning, I believe we could be trying to get back to our 50 EMA around 579.3. And if that breaks, we're looking for the lower 580s to be tested at the very least. So as long as 577 does not break, I favor a bounce for 580 plus. If we lose 577, I will be looking for a retest of 575. But my gut is telling me this is going to try to get back up to 580 to kind of push with Tesla. And I think that buyers were already stepping in. So it's not just Tesla. Buyers want to step in from the beginning. That's why we got this big wick here. We're going to see some buyers try to push this back up to the 580s. I think that's the most likely case. On top of that, it could be like a short squeeze. This was like a trap for all the bears out there who turned so bearish. Going back to ES, the same thing is going on already. So ES jumped all the way down to about 5,800, but instead of maintaining that lower position, it jumped about 40 points. It's at 5,840 right now, and has the potential to go up to about this previous support becoming resistance at 5,850, not to mention 5,868. So I see some upside potential for ES. For Nvda, check this out, guys. It's trying to reclaim 140 already. So when you look at this chart, yes, it was bearish. It was dumping, 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 dumping. Then buyers came back. We're trying to hold above 140. If that holds, we're looking for a push for 142. If that does not hold, we could be tipping back down towards 137. My gut tells me we're going to try to push above these resistance areas, and it's doing a pretty good job. For Bitcoin, this is attempting to rebound as long as we don't lose 66,300. I think the odds are favoring 66,956. So there's a good chance we try to get close to 67,000 for a push back up towards the 67,000 area. So that's going to be very, very interesting. Make sure you watch and see if that ends up being the case. But 67,000 looks like a strong possibility for Bitcoin for a nice rebound as long as you don't lose 66,500. So look and see if we get closer to 67,000. We'll see what happens after that. For other factors out there, we have Tesla. Once again, Tesla's pushing so nicely. It's going to have a bigger effect on the EV sector. Looking at, let me just check a couple of these. We have NQ. So NQ dumped to 20,000. And then the buyers came back and we reclaimed 20,200. That's a good amount of progress that was made on the bounce. If we lose 20,200 tomorrow, we could be dipping close to 20,000 flats. As long as we're above 20,200, I could be looking for an attempt to get back up to previous support becoming resistance around 20,400. So there's a very, very good chance that I think that we try to get a rebound back up to the resistance. So look for a little push tomorrow morning, back up to 20,300 as Tesla's leading the way. Nvidia is going to help as well. QQQ is it's actually getting bought back up right now as I speak. So it dumped all the way down to 485. Now it's getting bought back up to 490. If we reject off 490, you want to see it lose 488 to turn bearish. If 488 fails us, we could be retesting at least 486. Okay, so just keep that in mind if you want to turn bearish. And if we're bullish, we want to break past 490. If that breaks us, we're looking for 491.5, then 493, close to the 20 EMA. I think what's going to happen is we go back up to 491.5 and reclaim 490 thanks to Tesla. And there's going to be a bounce coming very, very soon. So that's going to be very, very important. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. For Aapl, Apple's also trying to rebound. We dipped quite a bit to 230, so we'll have to see if 230 holds. It's a little bit weaker. If 230 holds, Aapl will rebound to 231.7. If 230 fails us, we could be dipping back down to 228. It depends on 230. Can we hold it for over a couple of hours tomorrow? Then we could be looking for that bounce. For Netflix, we have 749 as our support. If we hold 750 tomorrow, we're going to be looking for an attempt to get back up to this imbalance at 760 to 765. If 750 fails us, we could be tipping all the way down towards the 740 zone. My gut tells me it's going to try to rebound a bit, but before it may continue lower again. So far, look for an attempt to get back up to about the 750 range. For CELH or Celsius, we're looking a little bit more bearish. We could be approaching 30 flat, and we'll see if we bounce off 30. But as of right now, look for a little bit more downside for 30, and we'll see if we rebound after that. So we'll see how it goes with that. Palantir is getting bought back up with the broader markets. I just want to make it very, very clear that as long as we hold above 42.67, this is going to be favoring a push for 43.5. If we lose 42.67, we could be tipping back down towards 41.8. So far, we're doing a good job. For Supermicro, we're consolidating. As long as we hold above 45, I think we could be pushing for 46. For Rivian, we're in a sideways cycle right here. We're looking for basically 10.37 as our resistance. If we break this, we're looking for 10.5. So far, it might try to push for 10.5. We're attempting to rebound as long as we don't lose 10.27. This favors 10.65. So I think this might try to rebound. We'll see if 10.27 breaks or not, but watch and see how this ends up going. For the IWM, we're looking a little bit more bearish, but it depends if we could hold 217. And as long as the 217.8 area holds, we could rebound for 220. Get back above 220, we're looking for 221.6. So if we lose 217.8, I turn more bearish. As long as we hold above that, I'm looking for a rebound for 220 plus. I favor 220 is going to be tested tomorrow, but we'll see how it goes. AMD is on a bit of a downtrend, but it's trying to get bought back up right here with the broader markets. And we came very close to filling this gap. If we lose 150, I turn more bearish. As long as we're above 153, I favor 156 for tomorrow for a little bit of a bounce. ARM is getting bought back up with Nvda and the others. As long as we don't end up losing 142.8, I do favor a little bit of a dip, a little bit of a bounce, excuse me. So if 142 fails us, we're looking for 138. And as long as we hold above 142, we're looking for a rebound for 145. For coin, we dipped all the way down to about 196.6. If we lose that, we're looking for a dip back down to 192. If we hold that, we're looking for a rebound for 205. My gut is telling me that the 205 to 206 area is coming as long as we don't lose 196. So look for an attempt to rebound. For Amazon, we're attempting to rebound as long as we don't lose 184.5. We turn back to bullish. If 184 fails us, we're going back down towards 182. And if we hold 184, we're looking for a pushback up towards 187. My gut tells me it's going to hold. And we're going to be looking for 187. So watch to see if that ends up being the case. For Meta, we're doing a good job at holding up. If we lose 564, we're looking for a dip all the way down towards 554. If we hold this, we're going to be looking for a rebound. I think that as long as Meta does not lose 563, we're going to rebound for 572 at least. So look and see if we get that little bounce. For Microsoft, we could be dipping a little bit lower. It's about 422. If we lose that, we're going to be dumping to 420. If that holds, we're going to be looking for a rebound back up to 425. For Google, we're kind of stuck in the middle. We could attempt to push up for 165 plus. We'll see if that ends up being the case. So give that the time it needs. DJT is getting bought back up. It still remains bullish. We're going to be looking for 36 plus. We called that level out yesterday. The VIX has a wick forming here. If we don't hold above 19.29, if we lose that support, the VIX is going to be dumping to the 18s, which would be bullish for the markets. But if we hold above 19.29 tomorrow, I'd be a little bit concerned. So we'll see if it rejects. It does look like it may do that. The 10-year remains bullish, so does the dollar. It's not really affecting the market yet. Maybe the market's going to get a bigger downtrend later on, but for now, the market looks like it wants to bounce a bit. So for tomorrow, the odds favor the market trying to rebound a little bit. Tesla's once again exploding to the upside, which is going to help the markets. So far, it's going to be used as our bullish catalyst. The market's looking like it wants to hold up thanks to Tesla, or at least they're going to be using Tesla as an excuse to buy things up. I think that this is kind of like a trap for a lot of bears. So what happened was they dumped the market quite a bit. People started shorting to oblivion. And then people may have expected the crash to start, this and that. But then they started buying the market up because once again, it's the algorithms dictating the way we move and other factors. And then it's no coincidence that they started buying things up right before Tesla's earnings, right? Because SPY started getting bought back up, so did the QQQ, while Tesla was low, only for Tesla to see a big squeeze after the market ended up closing. So, it trapped a lot of people. A lot of people thought we were going to continue to crash, but I kept saying in my videos, be careful, there could be a bounce coming. I kept repeating it, and that's what happened thus far. So far, that's what happened. Also for Tesla, I told you all that look, the truth is earnings are going to be a different factor outside of technical analysis. Sure, technicals look kind of weak for Tesla, but then the buyers came back after earnings after they absolutely crushed it. So I just want to say a great job once again to Tesla and its team. And so far, the bulls are the ones who have a bigger edge. So there most likely will be a bounce tomorrow in the markets, in my opinion. I think that's what I favor. If I'm wrong, watch the supports I called out to see if we lose them, and then we could turn back down. So we will see how things end up going. But once again, I just want to say I really appreciate you guys so much for listening. I hope you guys have an absolutely incredible rest of the day. If you guys made money on Tesla, congratulations. If not, it is what it is. But the thing about earnings is they're very tricky. So that's the reason why you don't want to go all in or YOLO too much. You want to be managing risks very well because unexpected things can happen, especially when people least expect them. So with that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day, night, or evening, wherever you guys are around the world. And I'll be back with another update video tomorrow before the market opens in the United States. All right. Thank you for listening and peace out.